Welcome to Saturday afternoon's version of the Simpademic. Jason coming at you here with a completely different subject entirely. I've been going through YouTube lately and going through and finding a whole bunch of videos about people that are called sovereign citizens. And I've mentioned in the comments in many of these videos, I have a potential solution for this problem. Now, I need to explain to you what a sovereign citizen is first. There are people who believe that the laws do not apply to them. They have pseudo-legal arguments at the side of the road with police officers and in courtrooms with judges. And if they get pulled over, they say, I'm not driving, I'm traveling, I have a right to travel. The problem with that particular argument is, yes, you have the right to travel, but travel by driving or operating an automobile is allowed to be regulated per the 10th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. And each state has its own specific laws around licensure and operation of motor vehicles by drivers, which requirements include a driver's license and insurance in all 50 states. Now, the specifics of those requirements are a little bit different from state to state, but they're generally recognized nationally. So I have a driver's license in Minnesota, and when I go to Texas this summer and I drive a rental vehicle, my driver's license and insurance is good there as it is here. However, these sovereign citizens use pseudo-legal arguments to argue that they do not need these things in order to be able to drive or operate a motor vehicle. Now, this is obviously not true to anybody with half a brain cell out there, and these videos are interesting cases of how stupid people can be when they get desperate. Two of these channels that I appreciate the most are Team Skeptic on the one front and Van Ballion on the other. Another one called Shane's Dumb Criminals. So if you want to look these three channels up, I suggest you give them a like and subscribe. Shane in particular is pretty deadpan. Team Skeptic, he's pretty sarcastic and biting in his commentary. Again, Shane, it sounds like he's a southerner. I don't know exactly where he lives, but he's a southerner, probably a rural character. And Skeptic is in Texas, and he is just a snarky, sarcastic, in a very hilarious way, figure as far as when it comes to condemning these idiots. Van Ballion is in the UK, and he has a British deadpan delivery, which makes for very good viewing. Van Ballion in particular, I have to tip my cap to him because he knows the U.S. Constitution better than most in the United States, especially when in comparison to these sovereign citizens who think that the laws don't apply to them. Now, I have a solution for these people. I've mentioned it in the comments of all three of these channels before, and it's in regards to only a very specific type of soft sit, and those are the ones that argue that they're U.S. state nationals, they're not United States citizens. They make these arguments on the side of the road as well as in courtrooms. And my solution for them is very simple. I'm probably going to write an email or some kind of communication to the Trump administration shortly after he takes office this week. And that solution goes something like this. If they're not U.S. citizens, and if they say they're not U.S. citizens, obviously deportation hearings should be commenced. Now, the problem is international law generally does not allow people to be made stateless. So, deportation without a specific country is generally frowned upon and could result in the United States getting into trouble at the world courts. Not sure that the world courts have any room to enforce anything. I, for one, would love to see those guys shipped off and deported to a station in Antarctica, for example. But I have a better one, because this one gets around that particular thorn. And it involves this. Trump has talked with Kim Jong-un, the dictator of South Korea, before. I wouldn't say he's chummy with him like Dennis Rodman, the former basketball player star, is. But they're on, the two have been on a talking basis previously. Trump has visited the DMZ. So in some ways, this is an ideal situation. Here's how we do this. Trump negotiates a compact, or his administration negotiates a compact with Kim Jong-un and the Kim regime in North Korea. We agree to deport our sovereign citizens who have renounced their citizenship in the United States to the DPRK, which is the acronym for what North Korea actually is, officially calls themselves the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, the DPRK. So we're not making them stateless with these deportations. Kim gives them North Korean citizenship. They become citizens in North Korea. We send them on a one-way flight to Pyongyang. And that's it. In exchange for their troubles, we provide the North Koreans some food aid, extra food aid for the trouble. I'm not going to advocate giving him any military help. But at the same time, I think humanitarian food aid of a generous level would be appropriate in this particular situation. And I guarantee you, as soon as the first deportation happens, this crap stops. These sovereign citizens may be stupid, but they're not that stupid. Unfortunately, these sovereign citizens have been sold a bill of goods. The reason why these people pull this type of trick is because they have problems. Their driver's license may be suspended or revoked. They may have criminal charges hanging over them. One of them, an infamous one in particular, has domestic violence charges that are just continuously ongoing. A sovereign citizen by the name of Eric Martin. Go ahead and look him up. He's been covered on these channels several times over. But I guarantee it, these people have these problems. They search for a solution on the internet. They run into a sovereign citizen website. And the worst part is, they pay for the so-called advice of a so-called guru. So not only are they in legal difficulty in pulling off illegal things, making illegal statements, but at the same time, they're paying some huckster out there for the trouble. I think they need to pay with their freedom, and they need to pay by being shipped to North Korea. This crap ends after the first one gets deported, because we will never hear from them ever again. And I guarantee you, if they pull any of this type of crap while in the DPRK, they're going to wind up like that college student who merely stole a piece of propaganda off of the wall of a hotel. Otto Warmbier was his name. I was trying to remember for a hot second. These people need to be shipped to a place where this type of behavior is a death sentence in North Korea. I guarantee you, if they try to pull, I'm not driving, I'm not traveling. In fact, cars are very rare in North Korea to begin with. But if they try to argue that they're not citizens, if they try to argue that they're state nationals, etc., the Kim regime is just going to basically call them out on their BS. And be like, yeah, actually, you are a citizen because you renounced yours in the United States. Therefore, we have agreed to take you in as a benevolent benefactor willing to provide you citizenship and shelter in the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. So don't pull this grift here, because otherwise you're going to go to a North Korean prison camp. And look those up on YouTube as well. Those are not places that you want to be stuck in. If you're lucky, as a soft sit deported to North Korea, they may give you a decent food ration. Nobody gets a great one these days. They're under famine conditions, partially because of their assistance of Russia in their invasion of Ukraine. Everything is military first in that country, and even the military doesn't get fed well at all. The military barely eats as it is. So the soft sits won't necessarily be in the land of milk and honey either. So this is my solution for these scammers, for these legal desperados making false legal arguments that are invalid. Send them to a country where their legal arguments really hold no water. The Democratic People's Republic of Korea. I advocate for their deportation. Like I said, I would like to communicate this solution to the Trump administration. These people have also been labeled as domestic terrorists by the FBI. So I think there's a good case for these people to have this kind of treatment. They are domestic terrorists. I think if they renounce their citizenship, I think they should be deported. And this is the one legal way to do it. Under the international laws, specifically things such as the Geneva Conventions, things that are internationally agreed upon. So anyway, hopefully they enjoy their life under the sun-faced leader, as their propaganda calls him, their sun-faced leader Kim Jong-un. Who knows? Maybe they'll even get sent to fight in Ukraine, in which case their odds of survival are only about 20%. Because at the rate things are presently going over there, at least 80% of the North Korean troops being sent to Ukraine do not survive, or will not survive. It's actually quite possible that all of them will be entirely wiped out. So if a soft sit tries this grift over there, or even inside of Russia, it's not going to end well. Oh, and by the way, if the sovereign citizens are sent to fight for the new country of North Korea in Ukraine, we also would need to pressure Ukraine to not allow these sovereign citizens to peacefully surrender to the Ukrainian forces. It's the so-called I Want to Live project that Ukraine has going. It's targeted both towards Russian and North Korean soldiers that allows them to peacefully surrender and gain sanctuary and legal asylum in Ukraine. This option needs to be taken off the table for deported U.S. sovereign citizens who are fighting for North Korea. So anyway, that is my diatribe on that particular subject. I'm going to probably start linking this video inside of my comment sections on those 3 channels, amongst others, because I think this is a solution that needs to be taken seriously, given that the FBI has considered these people domestic terrorists. So anyway, thanks for watching it to the end, for putting up with my diatribe on this particular subject. Sovereign citizens, by the way, have killed 6 law enforcement officers in the United States that we know of. So they are a threat as well to our safety. So anyway, thanks guys for listening to me. See you tomorrow, Sunday, for in the Simpademic. Up here in the north, it's freezing cold again. Stay warm if you're here with me. Stay warm even if you're in the south. My hometown in Texas is supposed to actually get 3 to 6 inches of snow on Monday, get this. So stay warm, everybody. Have a good one. Peace out.